Most people struggle in business with hyper competition and low margins. In the federal market, when you know how, it's the opposite, low competition and high margins. Doug Reitmeyer here with contractors telling you that GC Experts is a game changer.
What's your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway is all the intricacies that they don't teach you when you're going through all the SBA stuff or stuff that you just can't read, stuff that doesn't come from reading, it has to come from real world, hands-on, real life experience. Those little tricks of the trade.
Now, the simple question is, do you feel like you got your money's worth? Was it worth what you paid? Was it worth a lot more? How do you feel about the value to you being an experienced government contractor and being in this room for 3 days?
Well, first, I'm not that experienced, but just learning what I've learned since I've been here and knowing what I'm going to achieve after I leave, it's absolutely priceless to me. You know, there's that selfish side of me that, of course, wants to tell everybody, don't come, you don't want this, but that would be a bold-faced lie.
Yeah.
So I truly do feel sorry for anybody that doesn't attend this workshop and continues to do the same thing and expect a different result. It's foolishness.
After a couple of maybe 1 or 2 conversations we had, and one of the things I'm big on is change the way you're thinking about your business.
Mm-hmm.
You came back and you said, after I talked with you, something about you got a contract for what is the $270,000? What was that about?
Well, in my particular case, it was fear, because I was afraid to pull the trigger, not understanding whether or not I was going to miss something and bid the project wrong. But after the conversation that we had, I realized that that was my first hurdle I had to overcome. I had to overcome the fear.
Right.
And really, if you're going to go down in flames, you might as well really go down in flames. You know. So the way I said it is, hey, you know what? Let's do this. I'm intelligent enough to at least get close.
Right.
And if I can get close, and if I can start bidding these projects on volume, you don't have to win every fight. You just have to win the battle,
Right.
the war. So after I talked to you and after I started to do a lot of soul searching, that was it. Light bulb went on, and I started bidding contracts, and within 30 days, I put $270,000 on the books.
Oh, wow. Okay. Federal contracts.
Federal, state, it basically removes the
Fear, right?
it basically removed the fear in all the areas, because, you know, what I learned from you initially was that with a critical analysis of what's going on in the project and trying to find the best methodology for accomplishing it, that's really the saving grace to any job. I mean, that's really the way to perform. Exceed the customer's expectations, find the most productive and efficient way to do it, and make sure that in the end, you get the accolades for that.
Right.
And that's basically what I'm shooting for. You know, I now shoot for overachieving completely, to just absolutely going above and beyond the client's expectations.
Some people have said that in business, you're more productive when you have more efficient tools. And although we don't have any hand tools or power tools that we deliver here, ours are more psychological tools, right? You get a lot of psychology training here, a lot of scripting. Here's how they're going to say this, you should say this. From that perspective, how do you feel about the tools that you gained here? Do you feel like that's what they are, is new tools for doing business?
They're absolutely new tools, and it teaches an entirely different jargon and lexicon that even the contracting officers don't know. And that's what's critical, is because I'm not putting down contracting officers, I'm not putting down government employees, but there's a dramatic difference between people like us and people that work for federal, state, local governments. I consider somebody that runs a little taco stand on the side of the road to be far more courageous and intelligent than the highest government officials, because they don't have a safety net. Nobody's going to come out here and give us a weekly paycheck for doing nothing. And point of fact, if you go into a lot of our different bureaucracies, that's a lot of times what you find, and that's the reason for it. There's no incentive to produce. And like Anne Rand said in The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged, when you take that incentive away from people, it completely eviscerates their ability and desire to want to go out and produce more. But that's what we want. We want this lifestyle. But unless you have the tools that this program teaches for you to be able to go in there and actually, from a power position, negotiate the contract. From a power position, be able to work through issues, then you're just fighting blind. I mean, you're literally, you're trying to go out there without a roadmap. Now, I have a roadmap. Now I can actually see how to accomplish these things.
And that all things are possible in this business.
Absolutely.
And you got total control at all times.
Mhm.
And you know what to do if you start feeling out of control is what?
I called Doug.